Welcome to episode 2 of my headless Paul repair project, and this will be the final episode. We've got the headstock back attached to the neck, which is attached to the body. Everything's looking good. It is shiny. Don't know if that'll show up very well. Hopefully it's in focus. The repair looks great. I even put the factory stickers back on just to make it better than new. It really is better than new. We're going to jump right into it and take a look at what it took to finish off this project. So let's get to it and wrap up the next project. This guitar had a polyester clear sealer filler finish underneath the black, and I am repairing it with a very similar product. And this is Prestec, which I believe is made by Simtec. And if you watch Texas Tone guys, they've been using Simtec 2850 easy sanding sealer for a long time. And this is, from what I understand, the exact same stuff, repackaged and sold by Prestec, which is sold by, I don't know. I'll look it up and maybe put it in the description. You mix it 2% by volume, by weight. I don't know. I have to look at the instructions again. Did a little math on the cell phone and mixed it up, stirred it really well, and it is ready to spray. I am still working on setting up a little spray booth in the area that I work now, but at the moment I'm using the Mother Nature spray booth, which is outdoors under a tree, which is not ideal. Fortunately, this is just a repair, so it worked pretty well. I did have plenty of ventilation, fortunately. Visited by a few squirrels, a few moths, some gnats, might have been a mosquito mixed in there. A little pollen fell out of the tree while I was working on this, so I had to touch that up a bit. It all went pretty well. I'm using a Spray-It brand LVLP spray gun. It came in a kit, 2 guns, a jam gun or a detail gun, and a finish gun. Here I'm using the finish gun with the largest tip that it has to allow the most fluid to flow, and it went really, really well. This polyester sealer is listed as easy sanding sealer, and it truly is easy to sand. Had no trouble at all. Hit it with some, I think it was like maybe 220 grit paper originally. Knocked it all down, got the slight orange peel out of it, smoothed it out, and then finished it off. Went up to 600 grit wet, and it is ready for color. Even when you think you're ready to start spraying, there's still plenty of prep work to do. I had to clean out all the holes. Taped off the fingerboard really well. Taped off the sides of the fingerboard then. Taped off the body. Covered up the nut slot and the access cavity for the truss rod. Just had to do all those little things that I try to forget about just so I could start spraying. And even when you think you're ready to start spraying, you still need to mix up the paint. I'm using an automotive base coat black color, which I have had in my file cabinet for a number of years, and there I go, right off the bat, spilling thinner on the bench. Time to get back outside to Mother Nature's spray booth and putting on a light tack coat of the base coat color. This is just to make sure I have good adhesion to start with, and with this base coat, you let it dry thoroughly. You let it dry until it is matte in color, no shine left. I keep repeating the process, and like I mentioned, there is some stuff flying around out there in nature. Before I put on the very final coat of black, I had a couple little dust nibs I wanted to get out, and I used, I believe it was 1200 grit paper, and just lightly brushed them off the finish. And then I was able to apply a final color coat of the black. With the color coat thoroughly dried, I'm ready to put on the clear coat. And again, I'm using the Car Rep 2K Clear in a spray can. This is the second guitar I've used it on. I used it on a gold and mahogany colored SG kit not too long ago. It turned out really well. Learning a little bit every time I use this rattle can clear. And again, this time it's going on really well. I didn't want to go for a high build finish, so I only put on my tack coat plus 3 coats. Everything was looking good. To sand the flat areas, I have this double-sided foam block. One side is a firm foam, the other side is a firmer foam, and I started out with some wet 1000 grit paper. This is just to knock down the little bit of ripple that's in the clear, and it was looking really good. I finished sanding both sides of headstock, the flat areas, then went on to sand more by hand than with using a block for the rest of the neck. Everything was looking good. Everything was looking good, and I had moved up to 1200 grit, and then, oh crap, what's this? I had sanded right through the clear and my thin layers of black. Great. That's not what I was hoping for. Okay, I've got the refinish done and clear on and sanded. I think you might be able to see a little bit of shine. This is just sanding. So it's looking pretty good everywhere. It'll be interesting tying the new finish into the old finish right here, but we'll talk about that, I think, maybe. And I'm gonna buff up to the edge of the fingerboard. The back of the neck looks great. So now it's time to break out the benchtop buffer that I made, and hopefully I won't ruin this. Let's continue the next project. At this point of the project, I'm really excited. I not only get to break out my buffer that I just finished building not too long ago and give it a real test, but I also get to see how well that Car Rep 2K Clear polishes with a real buffer. This is also a good test to see how long it takes me to put the buffer back together to get it ready to use, since I do kind of store it away in between, we'll say projects, but just to get it out of the way. After all the sanding is done, I start my polishing using Glanz Max 60 medium cut, and this is followed by a Glanz Max 15 ultra fine finish, I think it's called, which I use on the other set of buffs. So overall, the process is going really well, and I'm really thrilled with how easy this buffing setup makes my life. I wish I would have done it years ago. I kind of forgot to mention, I did tie in the clear in the lower cutaway area there. Since it's a set neck, there's really no great place to hide the transition from new finish to old in that area. So I just gently sanded that all back. The original finish was 600 grit, then added the clear in there, crossed my fingers, hoped for the best, and it turned out amazing. Hats off to Car Rep 2K Clear.